Hi everyone! Not too long ago, I was talking about how I was having a really hard time reading for fun. Part of that just comes with working in the industry that creates books. Part of that is burnout from college still affecting me almost a year later. Part of that is it's just a lot of work, and when you're tired, reading and having to go through the effort of actually creating an entire world in your brain, even if you're not the one coming up with the idea, but you have to produce it, sometimes it's just really hard. I think also part of what happened was I was not reading books that I was excited about reading. I was reading books that I had to read, books that for one reason or another I was obligated to read. Which also comes with working in the industry. That happens. Sometimes you literally cannot avoid reading certain books. So, I wanted to talk today about what I've been doing to try to combat that, because reading is one of my favorite things, and I miss it. Like, there are times when I just get in the mood to sit down and binge a book, and not having time at the end of my day after doing everything else that I had to do was really taking a toll on my desire to read and my desire to do stuff. And especially with the quarantine and everything that's happening right now, I wanted to be able to talk about what I've been doing to try to make it exciting and happy and fun to get out of bed in the morning, and a good way to just stay calm. And so here's what I've been doing to make reading fun again and to actually get to read the books that I want to read, even in the midst of everything else that I have to read. Yeah. Essentially, I have, as you can see, a stack of books from the library, of books that I want to read, books that I think would be helpful to read, books that I, for one reason or another, need to read. For work, for my own personal development as a writer, for my work as a literary agent, knowing the genre that I'm representing, so on and so forth. It's an entire stack of research. It's fun research because it's fiction. It's market research. And it's research in what people are doing in suspense recently. So all of that is important for me to read. However, I'm forcing myself to approach it from the perspective of, I'm just reading this for fun because I want to, and all of that other stuff happens naturally. And that is one of the best things about being in the industry, is you get to just spend time reading a book and you can call it work. So for the past week or two, I have started reading for 20 minutes a day every morning. Feels weird to start my day off reading, no matter what time of the day I wake up, but it's been an adjustment, and it's an adjustment that I really like and that I want to continue on. I'm blessed to be able to fit that into my work schedule. I don't have to readjust any wake up times or when I start my day, because my work the actual go to work job that I'm doing right now starts later in the day. That might change as I get a regular schedule. But for right now, I'm lucky enough that whenever I wake up, I can spend the next 20 minutes reading, and I literally set a timer on my phone. I set a timer, and I just go from there. Whatever I get read gets read. I've been reading for 20 minutes. If I'm having fun, I'll start the timer again and keep going. But having that broken down into 20-minute increments gives me the ability to be like, okay, I read some today. I can go into the rest of the things that I know I need to do, or I can sit here and keep reading because the rest of the things haven't started to trickle their way into my brain. That was the problem I was having at night, was when I was trying to read as a reward for finishing everything else that I needed to accomplish that day. I never got to reading because I was never finished with all of the other things that I had to do that day, or I was burned out, or my brain was stuck in the swirl of, here are all of the things that I have to do. I didn't get all of those done. I shouldn't be reading right now. I have to go back and finish all of this other stuff. That has a rolling deadline, and it will never be done. There's always more work to do when you're doing what I'm doing, right? In the artistic industry, you're never actually happy with what you've created until you publicize it. And then even then, you might not be happy with it, but it's in a final form. It exists, and so you have to move on, right? That's one of the hardest things to learn. But in that process, I had gotten to the point where I was never finished working, and therefore never was able to allow myself the reward of reading because I finished my book or finished my work. And so I started reading to start. And it worked. I was able to sit down with my coffee in the morning, not having opened any emails, not having opened any messages other than the ones from my friends that I wanted to look at, not having opened any social media, because right now that's where a lot of my work is too. And so I started my morning with coffee, my timer, and my book, and it has been glorious. Again, one of the main reasons I couldn't get through any books is that I couldn't focus on them because I had so many other things in my mind from the rest of the day. But having the ability to start my day with reading has allowed me to be able to focus on the book and actually enjoy the book and let the book sweep me away for 20 minutes. And it's made me really enjoy the concept of getting out of bed, especially with the quarantine. Mental health can be really, really tricky when you're not going anywhere, you're not doing anything, you're not seeing anybody else. There's nothing new or different in your world while you're quarantined. And for me, that was really making it difficult to see any purpose to getting out of bed. I had to go through a job change. I lost my job and got a different job. And so now I was in a swirl there for 10 days, and it was tricky, at the very least, to keep myself positive enough to get out of bed and keep applying and keep doing all of the things that I knew I needed to do so that I could do the things that I love, right? And so I started bribing myself, is really what it was. I bribed myself with 20 minutes a day of reading to start off my day, and it has been wonderful. I finished an entire book. I'm halfway through another book. I haven't read like this as voraciously and as avidly as I am right now since high school. It's been at least 4 years since I have read in this manner and actually just enjoyed it, and since books in their finished form have been a source of fun and relaxation for me, which is amazing. I am so excited about that fact. And so if you, like me, struggle with reading, and maybe it's because growing up or throughout the rest of your life you had to put it as a, when I finish everything else, then I get to reward myself with this thing. Maybe try rewarding yourself first for doing the first hard thing of your day, which is actually getting out of bed and starting your day. Make it fun to get out of bed. Make it fun to get up, because once you're up, it's so much easier to do everything else anyway. And by the end of the day, when you stop and it's family time, then you can actually just enjoy the family time and you don't have to be angry that you didn't get to read, right? So I hope this helps you. It's been really helping me. And until next time, stay safe out there. Keep washing your hands. Stay isolated as necessary. If possible, do your part to help us all get through this pandemic. It's hard and it's crazy and it's bizarre out there. But stay safe. Stay healthy. And I'll see you next time. Until then, bye.